Thank you for tuning in to the Skol State of Mind podcast. You already know I'm your host, D Woods. Now, in this episode, this is a recap of the Minnesota Vikings putting on the beating on the San Francisco 49ers. So, let's get into it. Leading up to this game, there wasn't a lot of people out there that projected the Minnesota Vikings to even have a chance in this game. Well, I'm a Viking fan, so I kind of felt the Vikings did have a chance considering that Vikings beat the 49ers last year. Now, considering the Minnesota Vikings and the 49ers had both their respective injuries, the Minnesota Vikings were out second year wide receiver Jordan Addison, and the 49ers didn't have all world running back Christian McCaffrey. But nonetheless, it was a great game. And I'm going to break down some of the differences I saw with this team and why us Vikings fans should be excited for the near future, especially for this season. First off, I'm not sure if everybody noticed, but compared to last year and this season, I really saw that Kevin O'Connell is really patient with this running game. And what I'm saying by that is the fact that we saw last year, if the running game wasn't really working, he kind of got away from it. But this year, I see he's focusing a whole lot more on running the ball and running the ball consistently. I'm really starting to feel now that, the issues in the running game was basically personnel at running back. And now, with Aaron Jones and Ty Chandler in there, like it makes a world of a difference. Even though Ty Chandler was there last year, that was kind of the first time, last year he's actually had significant carries. And, when you have a veteran like Aaron Jones coming in there, it solidifies that position group. But I'm noticing Kevin O'Connell being committed to the run. And that says a lot. And why I'm saying that says a lot, because it's like, he would be like, all right, we're not getting the yardage I want on the ground, so let's start passing. He's not doing that no more. Like, it's a different approach. It's a different scheme, and I'm really liking what I'm seeing with this offense. And just like I said before, like if you have a young quarterback or a struggling quarterback or an unproven quarterback, the best thing you can do to help that quarterback along is play good, consistent defense and have a good running game to lean on. And Kevin O'Connell had that. And if you want to break down the numbers from the running game, Ty Chandler had 10 carries for 82 yards. Now, just look at that though, right? That's 10 carries for 82 yards, right? That's an average of 8.2 yards per carry. That boy was running. That boy was popping him. And even look, Aaron Jones had, I would say, a bad day. We're going to get into Aaron Jones a little bit later in this video. Aaron Jones had 9 carries for 32 yards with an average of 3.6. I mean, that was kind of like the numbers that we were averaging last year, game by game. But this running game is really, really making this offense a whole lot more potent. And I can't wait to see how this offense is going to, be a lot more deadly when Justin Jefferson gets healthier, when Jordan Addison gets healthier, when TJ Hockenson comes back. Like, I can't wait to see when all the pieces come to the puzzle and we can kind of see when everybody's, going full throttle. I can't wait to that. But, let's talk about Big Sam Darnold. Now, I'm not going to go into how I felt about Sam Darnold beginning of the season because we probably already talked about that in other videos. But Sam Darnold played a hell of a fucking game. a hell of a fucking game. And this is what I want to break down to y'all. He made a mistake, right? He threw the interception. That didn't rattle him. Like, that didn't rattle him. He threw the interception, came back, and they kept playing. He kept pushing the ball downfield. I told y'all, I told y'all, I told y'all, you were going to get a different Sam Darnold this year. I mean, the play, the throw he made to Justin Jefferson in on the other side of the field in our own perspective, red end zone for 97 yards touchdown, that shit was dope. That builds confidence with this team. You get what I'm saying? That's contagious. Like you can rally behind that. Like we can always talk about all the great throws or whatever, but what's getting me more and more behind Sam Darnold, he threw that pick, shook it off, came out there, and they finished the game. And look how he finished it though. 17 for 26, right? 268 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Damn, he he pretty much balled out. Like he had a great game. He had a great game, especially that basically line drive, you know, to Jalen Naylor, on a third down to keep the chains moving. Hats off, Big Sam. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Kevin O'Connell, hats off to you. Whatever you're doing right now, in the locker room, getting these guys ready. I like to see it. And that's what I'm seeing too. I'm seeing this Minnesota Viking team coming to these games more prepared. All right. So let's talk about the offensive line, right? The offensive line didn't really give up that much today. Like there were a couple of plays Bosa broke through and everything like that, but they didn't really give up that much right now. I mean, I don't have the PFF grades right now of how many pressures and everything else like now, but actually watching the game, I would only say Bosa was pretty much neutralized. I mean, Fred Warner made a hell of a lot of plays, but outside of that, like Sam Darnold had a pretty much good pocket and he got the ball out legitimately at a good time to, get the ball downfield and move the chains. So this offensive line is pretty is getting good. It's getting cohesive. It's gelling together. But I'm gonna start doing more videos when the PFF grades come out so we can kind of break it down because I really want to see how Ed Ingram did and Bradbury because that's like the weakest spots in this offensive line. So let's talk about the receivers right now on offense. We know Justin Jefferson is all world. Justin Jefferson had a great fucking game. Even though he left the game with what they're calling a quad contusion, they say he's day to day. Jefferson already said like he shouldn't miss any time. He gonna get some treatment on it. And he should be okay. I don't see him missing a lot of time. I see him basically, taking a couple of practice days off and resting a little bit. But I'm gonna say this: Kevin O'Connell, you're doing a great job, man. You're getting these guys ready. Jalen Eller, you're healthy right now. You're making a difference. Next guy up mentality. Justin Jefferson went out in the third quarter, man. So somebody had to step up, and somebody did. Jalen Eller stepped up, and that's what I'm saying. They're doing this without Justin Jefferson, without T.J. Hawkinson, and without Jordan Addison. They're number 1, 2, and 3 pass catching targets, and they're still getting it done. Jalen Eller, 3 receptions, 54 yards, and a touchdown. That's how it's supposed to be. Now, Aaron Jones, man, caught the screen pass, late in the game, and I'm sitting there watching it. I'm like, dang, if he scores this shit, the game's basically over. He gonna bust this game open. Fred Warner makes a play, man. I thought the tide was gonna turn somewhere else, but it didn't. But you're a veteran. Veterans still make mistakes. You got to hold on to that damn ball. But luckily, not luckily, the Vikings still did what they had to do. And they still, won this game. But let's talk about the defense, man. This defense is a whole lot different from last year, man. This defense is legit. This defense is legit. I know Danielle Hunter left and went to the Houston Texans, and the national media pundits basically, oh, the Minnesota Vikings don't have a pass rush, and they don't have the name recognition. Fuck it, fuck it. Who needs a name recognition? Brian Flores is coaching a hell of a scheme type defense. And what I'm saying, why he's coaching it, he's not like blitzing every down like he was last year. He actually has the players that he wants on this defense, and he's putting them in position to succeed. You like Van Ginkel's coming in, and he almost had another pick six. You know, Cashman's making plays. Harrison Smith, old ass, is still making plays. I mean, they had 2 interceptions today. Like, this defense is playing well above what everyone thought they were playing. And I think the sky's the limit. I think the defense is going to carry this team. And what I'm saying with this team, if the defense can consistently play this way, and Kevin O'Connell can still coach a good game and consistently run the ball, this team is going to be deadly going forward. I'm saying it right now. This team is going to be deadly going forward. And I said this last week that the soft spot on defense coming into the season was the D line and the corners. Well, shit, the D line been stepping it up. Pat Jones had two sacks today again, right? And the corners haven't been giving up a lot either. So this shit is coming together, man. Like, it's really coming together, and I'm just really so excited to like see this team like actually come together, and all these different pieces and stuff like that. Like, I'm really excited. I mean, because you're going against a powerhouse like San Francisco. Like, I don't want to hear no shit about, oh, San Francisco, they were hurt and blah blah blah, it's like that. No, we were hurt too. Any given Sunday, San Francisco has been a powerhouse, has been a staple in the NFC for years. They've been going back and forth to the Super Bowl, back and forth to the NFC title game. And this is a statement for the Minnesota Vikings to say, hey, look, we here. And to look at the division right now, the Vikings are 2-0 right now. Even though it's early, they are top of the division right now. And it's just like, sky's the limit, man. Sky's the limit. I mean, the next couple of games, I just really hope they can get healthy. That's the most important factor to me is basically getting healthy, getting healthy going forward. But man, this team balled out. And I told you guys before, I said, hey man, don't be surprised if the Minnesota Vikings beat the San Francisco 49ers. And that's what happened. Now, I'm gonna bring up the schedule real quick, because it's like I want to see like projection of how the Vikings can go in the next couple of the basic next couple of games, right? So they already started 2-0. All right. So the next opponent is the Houston Texans. As I'm recording this video, the Houston Texans is basically playing the Chicago Bears. And I'm telling y'all right now, Caleb Williams don't look good. Like, I've been trying my hardest to watch that game, and Caleb Williams looks like the fucking check down Charlie. And he just basically threw 2 interceptions back to back. Like, we ain't worried about that. We ain't worried about that at all. So I want to give a projection for the bye week, right? So next 3 games, the Minnesota Vikings will face the Houston Texans in Houston, come back to Minnesota against Green Bay, and then play against the New York Jets. I think that's the London game. Yeah. They will play them in London, right? So the next 3 games, and then they have the bye week, week 6. While I'm looking at that bye week, week 6, why is that important? So you already have TJ Hawkinson on, IR for the 4 weeks, right? So he should be trying to come back, week 6 or whatever, week 7. Addison should be a little bit healthy along the stretch. If the Minnesota Vikings can come in here and win these next 3 games, that can set the tone for the rest of the season. It really can. It really can. That's how I'm looking at it. I know we're playing with house money right now. But if they can go, they can go into Houston, smack Houston around, come back, beat Green Bay, knowing that Green Bay doesn't have Jordan Love, and they're gonna be playing Malik Willis, and they're gonna play a 40-year-old in London and Aaron Rodgers. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is still great, and that defense is still great up there. So it's gonna be a test with the Jets in London. But I'm just saying this was a test at San Francisco. So it shows you what these Minnesota Vikings can do. They can start the season with 5-0 going into the bye week. Then you got Detroit, the Rams, the Colts, the Jaguars. I mean, you set the tone for your season going forward. And I'm excited. I can't wait. I mean, I want to see what everybody else gonna say now about this Viking team. Like they came to play. They came to play. But that's just basically my reaction video. And I appreciate you guys, subscribing to the channel. Follow me on, social media platforms on Facebook, on Instagram, on X, and subscribe to this video. I got more content coming out. You know how I end it. Skol, baby.